And it's a very sad story that we lost Betty Bayo the other day. And it is so sad that the hospitals couldn't take Betty Bayo because of just 260,000 deposit. And the lady, our gospel artist, bled to death. But you see, if you followed Betty's journey, you realize that she is always a lady who has broken records, because from primary school to secondary school, she had to drop out of school because of school fees, going to work as a house help, and then came back to finish her school, continued with her music, and became one of the Kenyan gospel artists who we really, really celebrate. And of course, the marriage with Kanyari didn't go well, but see, she didn't come. But my question is, why would hospitals refuse to take someone in that critical condition? Critical condition that she was bleeding so much, and they were saying you must pay a deposit of 260K at night. That was almost impossible to get. And we lost the lady. And now, talking about hospitals, and I don't know whether that is the right thing. Should we save lives first and then ask for money? Or should we put money before saving lives? It's a moral question. It's a moral question because we need to save lives and then money will come. But also, the most interesting thing I've seen, that there's a senior hospital in Nairobi advertising circumcision for your 14-year-old sons or daughters. We don't do, but in some cultures they do. 14-year-old boys circumcision, and guess how much are they charging? They're charging for general anesthesia 90,000 for circumcision. For the other anesthesia, I don't know what kind this is, but 70. So if you go to the hospital, they're saying it's an offer, and the offer is circumcision at 90 and 70,000. I tell you, circumcision. Well, people in the Western culture like Bukusu land, tunaamsha watu asubuhi, napeleka kwa river, and the process is done. Traditionally, it's only a clean blade and something, painkiller or something, and they're done. So do you think it's moral to charge 90,000 for circumcision for a boy? 90,000 shillings for single circumcision. 90,000. Where? I'm telling you, everything in this country is being commercialized. Now we are commercializing circumcision, and we're commercializing it with big amount of money. If you have a son and they're going to take for circumcision, remember that hospitals are charging 90 and others are 70,000. And someone in that song, when he says, I need a hug, the people who need a hug maybe is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the president of Uganda. Hey, because the good president of Uganda says that he's tired of negotiation with Kenya. Every year, every new president is negotiating, and the ocean belongs to him. And Kenyans are on fire. They are telling the gentleman, James 7 off, they're saying, because Museveni likened, like he's like a tenant on the 10th floor. And the other guy on the ground floor claims that the compound is his. Now he's saying that every country should be given the part of the compound, even if you're in a flat, and that the ocean also belongs to him. And he's tired of those negotiations. And in future there'll be wars. Let me remind the gentleman known as Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is that when this Africa was demarcated and during the scramble of Africa, there are some countries which were landlocked. And if you don't want to make them landlocked, you forgo the sovereignty of that country and let it join the country next to the ocean. So now we say eventually that Uganda becomes part of Kenya, and then you'll have access to the sea. Now you don't have to pay those negotiations and fee. So you give up your presidency, and you become under Kenya. It's easier for you that way. But that idea of thinking that you can just threaten or talk and your son say whatever they like, we are sorry, man. We are just too sorry for you. It doesn't work that way. The world is not organized in such a manner. And those wars, when they come, people will deal with them. In future, if those wars come, the people in the future will deal with them. Maybe some of them might not be parochial as you think you are, and they will be like, oh, let's just build a railway line and let's connect these two countries together. And that's what people are doing, not threatening with cheap shots over war and navy and all that. You don't build a navy in landlocked country. You build an army. So just build your army and forget about the navy. Apart from the traffic, let's see what has happened in the Republic of South Sudan. Now, the Republic of South Sudan, they call themselves the Junubin. If you know Junubin, I love South Sudan. I love Sudan in general, but Sudan is a country where people have a lot of issues right now because Sudan is under war, of course, RSF, and of course the army and RSF are doing some atrocities to black people in Darfur area and Al Fasha, which is something which is very bad. If you watch those videos, I tell you, you'll just hate what religion can do to people. Religion is good, but when misused, oh my goodness, you can't even imagine that people hate each other that way, making other people drink their own pee and all that kind of stuff, and killings, senseless killings of children, women, and even men in that area of Darfur must be condemned, must be looked into. And now, when Sudan has an issue, South Sudan also sneezes. It's very crazy that South Sudan now, today, President Salva Kiir Mayardit has dismissed one of the 8 vice presidents. And let me tell you, Benjamin Bol Mel has been considered as the next president of South Sudan. So today, Kiir wakes up and strips him of his military rank of general and dismissing him from the National Security Service. At the same time, the president sacks the central governor, bank governor, and head of revenue authority, both considered to be close to Bol Mel. And then no explanation is given for dismissals which he announced. And then it comes growing fears of instability. The Sudan is, there are issues there which need to be addressed. But my take has always been that we Nilotics have a temper problem. Because if you look at the people from the Nile, they are very military-oriented, harsh, and warlike. Unlike the people from the Bantu regions, which are more polite, more henpecked and all that. But if you come to that area, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that South Sudan has never seen peace, and people always, there's an army fighting this person fighting with one, and we thought that when they got independence, things would work out. Maybe we need to relook at what are the divisive things that makes this country people to go separate ways, because we can't have a country in perpetual fight all over the years without any peace in sight. So we hope that there's peace in South Sudan, there's peace in Sudan, and also that in Uganda the elections go well, and Museveni to stop his shenanigans as well on the sea or the ocean belongs to me. It's my ocean. If you want to have your own ocean, Mr. Museveni, the president of Uganda, create one. But God-given nation is not yours, man. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Spice Drive where we give you conversations, interesting observations, and of course, hot vibe. And that reminds me that one of the celebrated actresses, Mario Koth, just wedded the other day in a white wedding. And my good friend, the comedian ex-boyfriend, was left kwa mataa because now the guy who checked in landed in their home in a chopper. So if you know, you know. So now the lady has officially wedded in a white wedding, and that reminds me. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever gone to the CBD and seen the places where, ladies and gentlemen, There are these colognes which people measure using a syringe. If you know that you are poor, and you know poverty is on your corner, is when you cannot afford to buy a cologne, and you go to Du Bois to get a syringe of cologne, and then what you don't understand is what cologne you're being given, because they can mix for you 2 or 3. So when you leave your house, you might be smelling vanilla, but when you reach home, you smell like something else. So beware that if you're still using those colognes, just know that you're not yet there. You are struggling to survive. But where do they get these colognes from? Because I have never understood why you would go and get a syringe, or you go somewhere where they just spray for you and you move, you walk and you pay. It's in the short time. You don't need to buy a whole cologne. You just use a bit of it. Nairobi has many things, my friend. If you've never traveled in Nairobi, this is a unique feature of Nairobi, that people can actually go and buy cologne in syringes, rather than buying a whole bottle or a bottle. So if you are still buying a bottle, then you're a rich guy. If you're not, kuna hizo za syringe ziko nyingi Du Bois Road. You can just go there and find yourself something, and a mixture of anything and everything, and you're good to go. Away from traffic, last week we talked about a gentleman known as Sami Kioko and the thief with Machakos County. Now Machakos County has come guns blazing. Hey, I mean guns blazing, because they are claiming that interview done with a social media or social platform, media platform, that the Sami Kioko is not one of their suppliers. Ooh. Now, Machakos County slaps demand letter of an interview with Sami Kioko, saying that that he does not, and this is what the letter said, that they said Sami Kioko is not a registered supplier with the county government of Machakos. The letter read, he does not appear as a director or contact person in any company supplying goods and services in the county. Then the allegations of discussion held with several officers of the county, as discussed in your show, cannot be ascertained or substantiated, as there is no evidence of such meetings. Sami Kioko did not produce, or neither did he avail duly registered power of attorney authorizing him to transact on behalf of the alleged company. And to speak about the contractual obligations between the said company and the county government of Machakos, the letter reads. So now the county is claiming that hawamjui, yet the man is claiming that the county owes him 18 million. I'm telling you, this one will be a very interesting thief, because I don't know how it will end, because I don't think that Sami Kioko would say something like that if he's not sure he supplied the county. Or maybe he was supplying under proxy. You know, there are some people who supply produce or goods or supply services to, but they use another person's company, yet they're the people who are financing, or the ones who are basically doing it. Or some people might use some contact people, yet they're the force behind the companies. I don't know whether that's the truth, but it is weighty. It's a weighty matter, because now the county has disowned. But the gentleman is saying, you owe me 19 million. And he wouldn't be mad to claim money if he didn't supply something. I don't know whether it's a county which is just playing games, or they just want to be seen as if they are clean, yet they are not clean. But if you've supplied the counties, tell us, what challenges do you undergo? Have you ever been in that mess where you supplied and then you are told, jina yako haiko, you've never supplied us, yet for sure, for shizo, for anizo, you know you are the one who supplied the products? Have you been in that situation? And if you've been in that situation, how do you deal with it? How do you really come and say, okay, I supplied whatever you are saying, this is my position, and maybe eventually you get paid. But if you're supplying these counties, it's one of the 1,000 ways to die quickly, because sometimes you can chase your payment for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and even 5 years. I know individuals who have been chasing payment from counties for almost 5 years, and they have not received anything. Others have been auctioned, others have been rendered bankrupt because of the supply jobs they did.